Hello guys, welcome to another video, and I thought I'd do a short one today for a bit of first impressions for the release of patch 3.25 Settlers of Kalguur, because we're about a day in at this point, so I've been able to kind of play the patch a little bit, get progressed a bit, and now I can kind of give my first impressions on that. So let's begin with the launch of the league itself. How sort of stable was it and things like that. Overall, for me, it wasn't the best league they've had recently. There was some server issues, especially in Act 2. I think we were about an hour in or something like that. And I just couldn't progress Oak at all. I crashed on Oak like 5 or 6 times. Basically, Oak just was unkillable. It was kind of the meme of Oak being unkillable, except for he was using a logout macro or something like that, you know. And I just couldn't progress Oak. The server just kept crashing. Eventually, I was able to get Oak down, but there was a bit of a problem going on there. And kind of past Act 2 into Act 3 and Act 4, the servers seemed to improve a lot. And I think it was probably just where there was a lot of strain on the servers, and people had started to log out at that point as I was progressing, and the servers were kind of getting back to how they usually are, a bit more stable. So overall, not the worst league start, not the best, but it's definitely nowhere near as bad as Ultimatum levels of scuffed league starts. So a few server stability problems, but not too bad overall. And the first impressions for me of the balance in patch 3.25, I league started a Gladiator. In the end, I was going to go for like a Slammer Chieftain with war cries, but felt like I didn't really want to be pressing too many war cries as a league starter. So I've gone for a pretty standard bleed Gladiator, and melee feels really nice, especially for leveling through the campaign. You can definitely feel that buff in the campaign. You feel very, very strong. And Gladiator overall feels really good. I took bleed pops from the first lab, and I didn't really need them, to be honest with you, because I was leveling with Sunder, and Sunder just kind of explodes everything anyway. Anything that's kind of cluttered up, Sunder just explodes it already. I switched over to a one-handed plus shield setup as soon as I got over to maps with the lucky block, and that is really, really nice. You basically feel like barely anything is hitting you in maps, and that's kind of how I expected it to feel, because once lucky block is up, you have somewhere around 88% to block, something like that, or 89-90%, depending on your maximum block chance for each stat, and that feels really, really strong. So Gladiator feels nice to play, the bleed pops are amazing, and overall I'm pretty happy with that ascendancy change. Gladiator certainly needed some love, and it received it in this patch. And what about the Settlers League mechanic itself? So far, from the small interactions that I've had with it, I've had a lot of fun interacting with it. It's really, really fun. You kind of build up your town, you can, build different systems, a little farming plot, a mining plot, the shipping plot, for example, and then you kind of have to hire employees and manage them and set up different employees for different jobs. And overall, it seems to be quite a fun mechanic. I really, really enjoy the idea of this kind of side content mechanic, which is outside of maps. I know that this mechanic has a lot of things going on inside maps as well with the mining nodes, but I like the idea of this kind of side mechanic, which is very relaxed and kind of chilled out. You can just go into the town, do a bit of management of the different jobs and things like that, and it's just a really nice change of pace overall compared to the normal mapping and Path of Exile. So I really enjoy that. I think that it looks like a fun league mechanic from what I've done so far, and I haven't really interacted with too many of the systems just yet. I think I tried the black market twice, and both times the items that it gave me were really bad. But, 2 times is not a very good sample size, so I'm kind of reserving judgment on that just yet. And one thing that has really surprised me about this league launch is, aside from the server stability issues that I had in Act 2, I haven't encountered any bugs yet, which is really, really surprising to me. The sheer amount of changes in this patch and the kind of league mechanic itself, I would expect there to be some bugs going on. I'm sure some people have encountered some bugs, but personally, from my own experience in this playthrough so far, haven't seen any bugs, which is quite surprising, because usually on a league launch, we've seen this with the last 2 or 3 leagues, or even more than that. Most of the time there's a lot of bugs on launch, and then GGG kind of has to come in and do lots of patches, lots of small patches, especially through that launch weekend. But so far I haven't encountered any bugs, which is really impressive, to be honest with you. That's really about it. Overall, my impressions of this league so far is a very positive one. I'm really interested to see how the meta is going to shake out in terms of balance, because there are so many changes going on with, things like damage taken as being changed, endurance charges, the aura nerfs, and the defensive stats on gear being boosted up there. And I'm just really interested to see exactly how that's going to shake out. And what about you? What are your thoughts on the league launch for 3.25? How are you finding the league so far? I have to say, from most people that I've heard comments from, it's a lot of positive things. So fingers crossed, this league looks like it's going to be a really good one. And I'm happy with that, especially after a league like Necropolis. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.